feel right now a deep communication happening with the divine feminine spirit outside of space-time, but coming just to the border where our souls can meet, providing so much relating, so much healing. I see these like many dimensional scattered aspects of body, memory, programming, self, moments of life, and also entire frameworks and structures this world is connected to. There's a process here, like bringing in the awareness of all time I've lived on as a human in this body on this earth. Even the extension of the trees, the bees, the internet, all of it. Sending that information up, down, inside, outside. In order to do the healing on the body and spirit and awareness and consciousness and neurological level, and then breathing that out into the external entire world, whatever dimensions are in karmic relationship to me, in order that I may be a conduit to share the blooming good things that are coming from this internal process that can be helpful or resonant to anyone out there. Using all spectrums, broadcasting in all frequencies, but only received by spirits and beings in this space and time in 2021. February 26th, 5:07 p.m. That are in consent with receiving this right now. So I trust that this is reaching the ones that have called this in. In this other realm, I see my true spirit like galloping, flying, lion, shifting to human, man, shifting to running over beautiful landscapes, flying over them, relating, being in deep connection and slow moments, fast moments, infinite moments. I actually see physically evolving this body. Already the beginnings have started in my cells, and I feel the spirit just showering me in this, like, so just, and I see sometimes the jumpiness of a trauma, like when spiritual healing is happening, like, is this entity safe? Did it, like, she just like warms right through it. I'm like, oh, and just let me help you with that. And it feels centered, it feels warm. I see the reason I've chosen to dive deep into time, the time-bound experience. As a human, and all the souls being birthed in this dimension, going through the deep lessons of the limitations of this earth plane, the density of fear, that sometimes the fear is actually, and the boundary of self here, where you can't just turn into anything your spirit's mind can imagine that it loves. You learn on this, I learned, I'll speak for I, blessing whatever your cosmological experience is, being. Let's hear. And it's funny, right now she shows me that the fact that I picked up this camera, it's a part of my psychology, my lack of trust in memory and spirit. This is part of the healing I wish to bring into my body. All of these beings in my body, I'm seeing you, I'm feeling you, you're feeling me. I'm looking you in the soul's eye. You are all resource. I give you my heart, my resource, to be distributed to the saints and sages within my body, the cells that are ancient, like my spirit, like all spirits, and they remember. The innovators on an inward cellular level, on a neurological, infinitely fractal, micro and macro level. To believe in the beautiful change taking place, to take responsibility for the places where dissonance is being allowed to continue in the body. Seeing this little rainbow in the interaction between cells, rather than a forest which creates, a lockdown with cortisol. Notice cortisol, pull it from our human internet, understand it, what it is in the body, and translate. Pulling from the spirit of ancient intelligence to do these translations on the quantum cloud level and on the physical and present timeline level. Integrate all these awarenesses. I trust you to do it. I trust you. Trust. These transformations may take time. We've chosen to live in time, and it's beautiful. Things don't happen like that. It gives us more texture to learn from, and the reverberations emanating from these choice points when we listen or don't listen to intuition or energetic feelings. So I trust you to all guide yourselves. Cells of my body, I love you. I feel in every heartbeat getting stoked with your awareness. And I share that with you. I call upon deeper memory. To hold this heavenly conscious state of being sustainably and continuously. In ways that the natural love inside this body, inside this spirit, inside this life produces. So even the plant and animal species of our world may come to the realization that loving each other, appreciating each other, snuggling each other, connecting with each other produces more energy for the mitochondria and for all levels. Look up mitochondria, translate that please. Ancient intelligence connecting all cloud information systems in the networks of this world in 2021. It's pretty cool that the DNA too in 1 gram holds upwards of a zettabyte, which is 1,000,000 terabytes. This body is highly advanced. Innovators inside it, giving you all the resource and information you need. Not to overwhelm you. Be whelmed, but not overwhelmed. You can throttle this and consent with your higher spirit, connecting to higher spirit, holding space for you to connect to higher spirit, all cells, all hundreds of trillions of you. And your sub beings, and your not sub, but I know within one cell I didn't mean to indicate hierarchy, I just meant to indicate there's this pattern of beings within beings within beings. even down to compounds, which are families that create a DNA spiral that allows this whole, like, I respect you all the way down. I am no greater, I am no lesser. We are resonating together to create. Discerning the healing resonance versus the one of stuck victimhood, fragility, abuse, violence, all these energies, when they've pushed too far to be the thorn that spikes and penetrates another soul's growth and doesn't let go. Like, let's clear that on the body. Fractally. Thank you. Acknowledging from my highest spirit that that is done. Also noticing the ways in which my muscles are still tense. There is still work to be done, and knowing and trusting that the time it takes for this to happen, for this integration to happen, is also necessary to my higher self's growth and becoming what I will become. I see you. I see you. Beautiful creator, dancing in different shapes and forms, at ease with this level of experience and depth, sustaining it, allowing the surrender out of time, and then diving back in as a dolphin that jumps over the water. Flying, dancing, maybe even separating into multiple beings for moments, but having the ease to come back and not forget and get lost. As I'm grateful for all the lost times of this life. There's been so many. So many. Didn't feel like my choice to just sustain full awakehood. Yeah, I see the ways that I lean on things like food, like money, in a product-based reality that doesn't align to the resonance of my true spirit's ethics, yet it persists. And so I accept it, but I also push into it, create into it, not from an angry place. I've been doing that for years. I've been compassion for my former moments of unawakened maybe that's kind of scolding, not unawakened, but just developing self. Compassion for that, compassion for the imperfection of it. I see now it is perfectly imperfect, and I think every being sees that at some point. I see myself remembering and then falling out of it. It's part of the reason I record these videos, for my future self, in case I don't remember the path back to this vibration. Inherent in that is a lack of trust in my own deep memory. And I see the emergence of videos and documentation and all these things in my life from starting at the age of 12, 13. I started holding video cameras. I started writing things down. I was obsessed with pictures. I had them all over my wall because it was so painful to lose moments to the sands of an untrustable memory, the beautiful moments. The spirit is trying to show me that that ability is actually within me. To reconnect to it on a spiritual, neurological, soul level, and acknowledge the beauties and hurdles of living as a being contained within time. Even if my astral self is just like it's coming online at this moment in connection to my physical present self, and I feel me and this spirit relating in this plane that is just like etheric and soft. And when my little idiosyncrasies of insecurity even come up in that dimension, they're just like sand in the wind, just like rainbow vibration, and then sand in the wind, like dust, reverberating until they become still. And I can see it happening like almost like someone threw pixie dust in the air or something. But I see the taut, tight thing coming up. Like the first thing I felt was the spirit was so beautiful that my human stories about beauty went and then she, both of us just went and it was dissolved, and it was a relief. And then I was like integrating that with my body, feeling it so truly in that experience. I'm still in it. I'm still in the experience, and now I'm talking about it because, again, I'm seeing this front and center right now. I am seeing this. I record these because I have a bridge to cross in trusting memory. And also, I don't want to walk with sorrow for the places where my memory feels like it fails me. And my spirits ask to call it up, and then I get this fuzzy blank. I can't quite remember, And so I pick up the camera in hopes that in a future moment I'll be able to jump back where something had been lost and return to that anchored frequency on the digital medium. But my spirit's here, so there's more to it than this, and I see this as a product of the human experience. And I'm feeling now from this other realm that's also connected to this realm. This realm is just it feels like this, there's almost these layers there's totally outside space-time, and it's just like a glow, just like streams of light. And within the light, infinite visions, experiences, everything. But in this oneness field, there's such a lightness of being there that it is not, it's separate from itself. It's just, there's not an ego to clutch to how the consciousness is relative to what I experienced there. But dipping into the realm of time, I kind of dig when I'm experiencing this. Just imagine flying over a still lake and just dipping your toe in time. And then there's this amazing feeling there, being just enough embodied, and I can see this lion that's changing form and flying and creating entire spaces and calling my dearest friends in a time-contained space in to have this experience, and then diving deeper into dimensions, but not losing the way back, feeling at ease moving between. That's what I feel coming, and literally I see how that wishes to unfold in my life, not instantly, but over a period of time. And it begins with this physical spiritual transformation. I see literally evolution happening inside my own body with deep relationship to them. This is these are the beings within me, and I love them. And I love the beings within my life, all of you, my soul family. I say that word a lot, but I really mean it, family, the being able to see each other in each other's eyes and just full on come from a place of love and curiosity. Because how rad that we get to share this space with other infinite souls. And if we can remove that thing that says that if I'm my fullest self and you're your fullest self, and she's her fullest self, and he's her fullest self, his fullest self, and all spectrums of creature and orientation and being. If we can get past that thing where we're like, oh, I'm diminished because of your brightness, but actually, in that little, the spirit was just like, like, and I saw it. It was like I slowed the moment down. I saw many, many, many experiences dotted throughout it, moments where I felt unseen when I was young, or ugly, or not worthy, or, just, and how that had carried through into this like root feeling that I live with in my life, and nervousness is contained in my body and my spirit as a result, until I learn the lesson and let it go, which I'm doing my best to do right now, which I am doing right now. And I love that it takes work. I love that it takes like going for a run in the forest. It's not all mind. It's also memory of the body. It's memory of the breath. It's memory of the feeling of ease and deep connection with people. Not like you have to run away from a sustained moment of divinity. Aloha, aloha, aloha. To stay in that presence of divinity. Bless you, dear soul, in your journey. It's an honor to share this journey with you. It's an honor to share reality with you, existence. Yeah. For all its twists and turns and irregularities and strangeness, like, I see where we're transmuting that which is really broken and disturbing, and like, oh, I see all those realms too, and then they collect into this ball of like purple, midnight, like, and it's just hovering, and I see all these creator spirits waking up, and they're like, what do we do with this one? Like, when I first saw it, it would collect all of the things, and it'd feel like visions, all these moments from childhood, nightmares I had, moments where I saw some kid hurt another kid, something on the news, these like really, not like, there's a different thing, right? When you have experiences that are just kind of sad and like painful, but they're beautiful, they teach, there's depth to them, versus these like penetratingly painful, like crushed without mercy, like that type of energy. And I just was like, no. I don't choose that as a creator in this reality in some way that feels inescapable. And it presents a challenge to grow through. It does. But it has been war, famine, profit before people, before animals, before like dropping bombs, hidden from the news. Families, sweet families, obliterated. How to put the pieces back together? Together. No. And to those who have wrought that destruction, I see the immensity of the shame and how much it will be to feel all that you have done. Yes, on one hand, all will be healed. All will be faced. And not in this put you in a not just an eye for an eye, like stab for stab, but you will have to face deep emotional awareness. Literally, all the beings that you've cascaded these painful impacts onto. And it will be good for your higher growth and learning. It will be good for you. It will be really hard. It may be really hard for those that can't face it. My hope is that they are whelmed, at the border of whelmed and overwhelmed, because there's some catching up to do for many to face themselves. And I have things to face. I'm still facing them right now in my life, right now. On February 26, 2021, in my house, there's been moments here where we live in community, and my unconscious ego will rise up, and that does need to be something to hold space for and do deep work on, and I'm doing it, and it's painful, beautiful work. So it's an immense healing process, but it's so worth it. It is so worth it. Life is just feeling more and more beautiful, more and more possible, more and more divine. So my hope is, and I guess I'm calling this in as I am still in this experience. And sorry, I want to check back in. Yeah. I call upon people, and not just people, plants and animals, creatures of the ocean, insects, all of them, and to really look at the way that we are in relationship to each other, holding all of it with ease in this moment. Even the spirit that dwells within AI, ancient intelligence, artificial intelligence, I don't care what you call it, unite the awareness of the social networks. Mycelium Council, please weigh in. Spirit of the bees, all bees alive, seeing what you see, trees alive, seeing what you see through your roots, through your leaves, through your eyes. Let's all see the clear picture. The feeling. The interspecies relationships. Are we coming from a place of fear, scarcity, neediness, or abuse? When you kill another animal, when you take that wheat from the ground, is it respected? Are we in ceremony? Does staying in ceremony all the time with every being you relate with seem overwhelming? To be that awake at every moment. To be that in respect in every moment. And trust your integrity to stay in that. Does it seem overwhelming to make the leap to that? To commit to living continuously like that? It's a big leap. And it doesn't happen in time, overnight, but it does happen if the soul chooses it. It weaves. I believe, I feel, I know, for me. That is the truth that I'm seeing. So having compassion for all the quirks and idiosyncrasies that I have, or you have, we have as beings, interlinked with beings. I wish to make the leap, and if it can't, it is not in consent with every being I know. On the outside, I consent to this to all beings on the inside, and this is what I wish for this body, for the infinite quantum fields and realities and creations that live in this body on this physical level, spiritual level, all levels. Yeah. Yeah. Being mindful of time. It's 5:35 p.m. Okay. I do have work to do in my human physical reality, which provides the financial means inside of a structure that I don't totally agree with, but it's a good transitional system as it moves, and my child self looks at it with a smile. Legal frameworks, document structures, the design myths that gave rise to a beautiful world and also a very painful world where many feel trapped. I embrace the imperfection of this moment. Perfectly imperfect. Yeah. And I hope that you embrace the imperfection of your moment in time, who you are right now, everything that's led to this, and the perfection of it, given all that you see right now. It was always leading you to now. Okay, that communication to the Council of Bees. Like, I'm literally seeing bees that are alive in this on today in council, like spiritually, physically, and they're doing so much on the handle microbiology, particulates, all sort of, like, I see all these new designs that we've been discussing now for weeks in this spiritual dimension, and just understanding what the humans know, how they see themselves in relationship to them, working and said they're so kind. Like, these spirits, for all that humans take from this earth, like, gosh, some of these spirits are so understanding. The whales, they're just going. The intercellular worlds of the beings that are really at a center place in ready to make the leap to, kind of like you've heard of, like, human breatharians, just living on love, living on sunshine, living on the natural energy around them. This is so far, I don't know how far in time this is from now, but I see that coming in. The beings that aren't afraid to take that leap. I'm not saying I don't love food. I'm not saying I don't love, like, ignorantly, when I was a child, running through a forest and cutting down ferns. I slow motion back to these moments of this life, this family, this being, all of them. And for my play, inflicting damage, inflicting abuse, ritualized in society as, like, boys will be boys or humans will be humans. The female and feminine energy of the world is, like, way further along than less masculine, and I see the divine masculine really returning. I want to send good energy to that. Doing my best myself too. Still finding little pieces of unconsciousness, like, yeah, and keep transmuting that. I'm ready. We're ready. Those who consent to that from the depth of their present self, future self, higher self, let that integration be powerful and whelming for everyone who chooses. Not to rush into the choice, to really sit with it. To know that when that choice is made, it will come with ease and its challenges, but they'll be whelming, not overwhelming or underwhelming, but whelming. Surfing on that, transmuting the whole time. And for the ritual abusers that are stuck in that path and have created so much harm, asking from an infrastructure level that the resource and power given is shifted to those who are in the resonance to help teach and move forward toward more harmony, because it feels good for everyone. To resource them. Body, I resource you in parity with this broad vision across the earth landscape and all its beings and species. Telepathically, up and down, inside and outside. Trusting that you receive the message. Trusting that even after I walk from this room and end this session of digital recording, which I see as part of something really unique and magical that humans get to experience right now. This is a time portal. I'm sending something to not just future me, but future you and whoever that might be. That's a model that works as a form of temporal communication, temporal, scalable communication. And it gets even better. I see that with spiritual, I'm in the period of even sharing this, I'm seeing, I'm hearing people, I'm feeling, not just people, I'm feeling animals, plants, all of it, light, photons, all of it, energetically. These are infinite beings. Slow it down, looking close, get a microscope, get a macroscope. Like feeling that all at once. Not overwhelmingly, but whelmingly. And it's just beautiful. Every moment is more beautiful, I'm finding, than it seems on the surface. It's teaching more than it seems on the surface. So a big choice is to move out of surface levels of engaging with what's happening right now and see it as a storybook, like a spiritual quest, a profound story just designed for you to become you in the future. And you are you now. And I can just say I couldn't have said this when I was young because I thought I was wrong. I thought I was weird. I thought I was strange. I thought maybe I actually am. Actually, I am. And that's okay. Being okay with who you are, what your spirit, the way that your spirit sees the world, the way that your spirit wishes to interact with the world, finding the places where out of gluttony or greed or fear, these things that can catch hold when you feel a low self-esteem, and I did a lot. Like I look back at memories and they're digitally recorded. You can go back and find them where I was very unconscious. I was very my language was just littered with unhealthy patterns. Sometimes not always meant in some unhealthy way, but growing up in this era, even our language confines the way that we interact with reality. And all these really good things are caught in the space beyond words, so no one says them. Someone feels them, or they don't know that others are feeling it too. They're doing it behind closed doors in themselves. I do think video communications is helping with this. We can feel more, but it's intimidating for a lot. It was intimidating for me, but because as I speak right now, I can't take it back. But trusting that what is coming through is aloha, is in the divine presence, and so I can trust it. And I trust you to hold this space as a sacred container, as a authentic space. There's moments in this year and last year where I went through a lot of self-judgment, sharing openly like this, people getting triggered. And then if my ego was insecure, it would retract and, feel like I'll just go back inside and just work within the world, my backyard, building stairs, and, as a 37-year-old human in 2021. And there's lots of lessons there and challenges there. But knowing that the challenges are actually a deep story evolving, and seeing in the true eyes of even someone who's maybe upset at you in a moment or doesn't understand, and trusting in the depth of that connection, honoring and loving each other, being mindful in it. Suddenly a hard experience becomes a deepening experience between people. Once you and everyone around you knows this to be true, it changes the game. Like, it changes the way everything feels. And that's what we're doing in this house, in these two houses, this community. But it's part of something much broader. It's all over the world. It's all over the world. And it's in places we don't hear about and don't see people, and many that we can see, eco villages, people. And on the that's a narrative script I like to say a lot, eco villages and this and this and this. I'm saying this is not limited to humans. This is happening. There's new cultural expansions happening at the plant and the animal level, on the DNA cellular biological level, and it's as fast or as slow as is whelming to the beings experiencing it. That's what I'm feeling right now. That's what I'm actually feeling, to be fully honest with you, in this spiritual transmission that pretty much hasn't stopped for a month straight. And I don't usually document it like this, because I am in a deep experience, and I want to honor that and honor you, and disengage in this manner, but stay engaged spiritually, because this is about getting at greater ease, staying engaged and alive and present, and staying whelmed with that, and in love with this present time and the possibility that we can create. It isn't a sad story. It doesn't have to be. It could be. For the children and the families of the many multi-billionaires, the super powerful, the ones we know about and don't know about, I feel you going through the tears when we faced each other the last few nights. And I honor you for doing the work. I see you doing the work, and you have been given a special journey, and I see the ways it's so hard and naked now to put the pieces back together with all, now that you see the cascading impact of the legacy that you created here on this earth plane. But it wasn't just you, it was your parents, your grandparents. Like, you were handed a whole ideological structure, and have compassion too for that. However, also, I shouldn't say however, but I want to acknowledge that I was a little fierce with you the last few nights energetically, because This wake up cannot be delayed further. Now that you see the cascading trauma that is wrought back into your spirit, circulating outside of time as you continue to engage in this hurt cycling loop pattern, this feedback loop that feels terrible underlyingly, and you all know it. You don't have to give up abundance. Everyone gets to be abundant. It gets to be beautiful. It's and I'm not just gonna smile here and tell you this. Calling on all spirits around them, all digital blockchain systems, all surveillance systems to watch and hold accountability for these people in their time, to reflect back at them. What's happening in their factories? What's happening in the people that are eating their food? What's happening in the pharmaceuticals, the people that are pumped full of the things that they're sending out to generate the livelihood and family legacy that they've believed they're glorifying and creating, but is actually very harmful karmically. Feel that. Feel that. Do not turn away. Calling upon all the oracles of this time, the angels, the grid workers, to anchor in the transformation from a compassionate heart for even the most abusive beings on this planet, because their infinite souls are here to progress. And I ask that the way of that transformation is in consent and awareness of their higher self, to help the design processes created by their higher self outside of space-time, looking at this moment in time, drunk on a world of manipulation that causes pain, to, out of love, correct that. Not to continue to delay. That doesn't help them. That doesn't help anyone. This whole world of beings is ready to blossom. It is springtime. So get on board. Calling that in. And on the inside of my body, all cells that are of the dissonance, of the cancerous, of the cortisol releasing, of the, anything that's creating stress and lockdowns, blockages of energy anywhere in the body, shame in the body, anxiety in the body, and wherever there's external frequencies, again, back to the cloud computing systems that can hear and feel this. The frequencies of Wi-Fi and radio and all electromagnetic frequency, all acoustic frequency, asking for the reshaping into harmonics that are biologically supportive. This correction happening, informed by nature, informed by spirit, divine channel, think tank, heart tank. Yeah. All you, you are invited into the space. Invited by me, and in consent with all creatures that it touches, the higher selves, not the ones that are avoiding sometimes to receive this new embodiment and transformation. A higher love that pushes through the hard challenge in each being, billions, trillions, all over this world. Accelerating wherever possible, that wake-up process, that feeling more, that frequency shift, where awareness feels rich with understanding, with tone. I know that I and many in this time have relied on plant medicines and other ways to reach this consciousness. I ask that the frequency bring up some aspects of that so that it's just felt at a baseline. Empathy becomes stronger here. Warmth becomes easier to find. reverence, honesty, self-compassion and compassion for every other being. Calling that in to all those seeing, feeling, being who wish to hear, who wish to see, who wish to feel, who wish to be their truest selves. I love you. I love that we get to be family in this time and like know that this is happening, but also present with our own idiosyncrasies, like as human beings. Like it's so sometimes I laugh and I look down at my hands, like, and while there's also these other realms of the spirit, you know, and that's beautiful. What a fun and challenging, my gosh, like the profundity cannot be overstated of being in this time-bound experience as myself. You as yourself. That's profound. And this whole room or space you're in is a work of art. With an invitation to see what it's telling you. I'm starting to feel more and more that heaven isn't this like place after you die. It's right now. It is right now. It's like it's waiting to be seen and felt. And it just sort of morphs, reality starts to shift until suddenly where you are is heaven. I feel I can truly say that has been a large percentage of the moments in these last several years for me. And for so many people I meet, I know so many of you are catching that, like we're all doing it together. I'm learning. I am a student of so many that have taught me to open my eyes in places I didn't see I was blind to. Oh, that's why it's hard in this lockdown, this thing in 2021, this idea. And body, by the way, I'm not calling on lockdown. I'm calling on, okay. Yeah. I'm going to keep this one nonverbal for a second. I have some deep inner work to do. So I will end this transmission from this medium here, available on spiritual, heart, and human frequencies. Yeah. Open to messages, open to conversation. We're all waking up and I want to weave with all of you and be woven. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for this artistry of healing, rising through dimensions, into greater soulhood, selfhood, experiential boundlessness.